So I'm answering some of the questions you guys give me, and one of them is, how many flips did you do, Susannah, before your first joint venture? Basically, I guess the rationale behind that is, how experienced do you need to be before you joint venture with somebody, which is probably the kind of searching question behind that. So how many flips did I do before my first joint venture? Well, I started in property commercially, if you like, in 2009, and I did my first joint venture in 2009. So not many is the answer. But let's just take a step back. I actually was buying and selling my own family houses, oh golly, since I was 26. So that was another kind of 15 years earlier than that. So I had done what I might term non-commercial flips, as in I had bought a family house that was, I always bought beautiful old country homes, started with little cottages and then moved up to farmhouses, and then moved up to farmhouses with quite a lot of land. And I bought those beautiful, and they always had something really special about them, because I love property and homes and idyllic spaces anyway. I mean, look at today, for example. But also, I always, I suppose, had a bit of an eye to something quite unusual. So in my early days, I was flipping rather special properties. So the first one had a stream in it. Not many houses have streams in it. So and it was very near the sea in Pittenweem in Fife. The second property had an orchard in it, and it was in the centre of a farm, and there was a beautiful old well right in front of it, because it was the village farmhouse. The third property had a small wood in it and a stream in it, and looked onto beautiful Scottish hills in Perthshire. So I always found something unique, and I made those properties absolutely kind of one-offs. I scoured eBay and salvage yards and made them really interesting. So whilst they weren't commercial flips, they were bespoke flips. I had already flipped 3 personal houses, and then I did 1 flip myself, that's the truth, before I then went into joint venturing. So basically 4. But on a kind of, that's me, I'm now a property investor, I'd only flipped 1 before I then JV'd. And the reason for that was, I didn't have a lot of money when I started professionally, commercially, as a property investor in 2009. And most of us don't. You probably don't either. So to use all my money in flips would have been very slow for me, and also probably not financially able to have done that. I'd have ended up doing like 1 flip a year, and then 2 flips a year, then 3 flips a year, and I'd still be like moonwalking backwards. So what I saw the way forward was that to joint venture was like a cherry on top of what I was already doing. I'd bought a number of properties. I bought early days a 1.8 million portfolio. I mean, now that's like a really small portfolio compared to what I've got, but I bought 7 houses which were worth about 1.8 million at the time. So I started investing, I'd started deal packaging, and then I thought, hang on here, flipping just like brings in really lovely big lump sums of cash, doesn't it? But I can't afford to put my cash in, because I'm buying properties for myself already, and I don't want to slow down that process. So what I'll do is I'll flip with JV partners more or less from the get-go. And almost always I had great experiences. I mean, 1 or 2, you wouldn't work with them again, bless their cotton socks. But, my first investor, it was 175 grand purchase pre-auction. We spent 20 grand doing it up, and we sold it for 240,000. And my investor was pure cash, so there were no interest costs. And then we went on to work together for years and years and years. He ended up lending me over 3 million quid. So it was a really useful experience. But what I brought was that kind of personal knowledge of flipping my own personal houses. I bought huge property enthusiasm, loads of drive, loads of energy, a lot of hunger to do well, attention to detail, and it was quite good fun. So it was quite good fun for my investors to work with me on those flips. So basically, not many before I got going, and you don't necessarily need to do many flips before you JV with people, as long as you're going to make sure you do a good job. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. I've got lots of your questions I'm going to answer. If you like the video, please give it a like. That'd be kind of you. And if you find that somebody's kind of, I can't joint venture yet because I'm not a super expert, well, maybe send them this video to reassure them that actually you don't need to be expert before you start JVing, as long as you have every intention and deliver a good job. And also hop onto my website. It's called thegoodpropertycompany.co.uk. We've got lots of good stuff for you about flipping, about deal sourcing, about joint venturing, about finding investors, whole kit and caboodle. Right, good luck. Have a nice day. Oh, and hang on, let me show you. Does that not just want to make you chill out? You want to make a shed load of cash relatively fast? That's a buy to sell strategy. Download my buy to sell pack, written for you guys. Everything I know popped into there for you.